The man identified by the Times newspaper this morning, but not charged, issued a statement from him, saying he'd spent his career trying to educate others about the challenge and threats presented by the Chinese Communist Party. He went on to do what's been claimed against me in extravagant news reporting would be against everything I stand for.
Gary Gibbon reporting. Well, earlier I spoke to the Conservative MP and former party leader Ian Duncan-Smith, who is a long-time critic of China's activities in the UK and who has been sanctioned by the Beijing government. I began by asking him why he is so worried about this case.
Well, we've already had one case about a year and a half ago, and we were warned then that there were problems, but they would be tightening up the security. And now we find what possibly, we don't know, may be an espionage ring centred on Westminster, which seems to be about damaging reputations.
A ring?
Well, that's what we're talking about here, because we're talking about more than one individual. So my point is that there are real issues here about security, the strength of security, and also the fact that many of us here, a number of us, about 7, are sanctioned already by the Chinese government and face attacks, cyber attacks, etc., on a reasonably regular basis, and we are concerned about it.
But are you being overly dramatic here? We know about 2 individuals who are suspected of espionage. That doesn't make a ring, does it?
Well, the prosecutions aren't yet in front of us, and all I simply say is there are people here in Parliament, or were in Parliament, that the authorities believe were party to a process of espionage and disruption inside this Parliament. And I think whatever else about it, that is a pretty dangerous affair.
Are you saying that there could be more than 2?
I'm not going to comment further than that. I simply say that there have been individuals here that are now under investigation, and who knows, there may be more.
Let's talk about the timing of this. This researcher was at first arrested in March, and we found out about this yesterday. Did you know about this earlier?
No, I only knew about it an hour before the article was published because I was told about it. I didn't know about it before. A number of people had suspicions about certain briefings that had been taking place, but nobody was able ever to put their finger on it and identify any particular individual. But there were concerns. I know that. A number of colleagues have spoken to me about it. But other than that, nobody, I don't think, knew except those who were specifically involved, and therefore have been asked to keep quiet because they may act as for the prosecution.
Where do we take this? Because there are some people who are saying, we should really cut off relations with China. China is no longer just a competitor. China is, a potential foe. How far do you think we should take this? Should, for instance, the Chinese be disinvited from the Prime Minister's AI summit later this month?
Well, I think that China poses us a threat. I think that's very clear. America is clear about that. America has been withdrawing technology from China because of the espionage problem. They've also been advising a number of American companies to withdraw, and you've seen Apple now moving some of their production over to India. So they clearly believe that China poses a threat both in commercial terms and, of course, in military terms. So the reality for us is that the UK at the moment doesn't say in any of its documents that China is a threat. They talk about epoch-defining challenges and other such.
Do you want that language to be tightened up?
Well, I think it's important. I mean, if you're dealing with China, is China a threat? I asked today, is China a threat or is it not a threat? We've got a halfway house here that doesn't seem to want to say it's a threat. It seems to want at times take action, but it's pretty discordant. And I have to say the Security Committee, Select Committee here, was very damning about the government's preparedness, as have been a number of very senior ex-security operatives who've been warning in the newspapers for the last 3 or 4 weeks that we have to do more.
But once again, should they be disinvited from the AI summit?
I don't believe they should be at the AI summit. I think the most important thing is to recognise there is a whole new threat arising from China's dominance of genomics at the moment, which is the world's biggest company, and their attempts, as we know now, to bring genomics and AI together to create an enormously new and disruptive platform that could be aimed directly at nations without them even realising it. And I think that's important to understand what the threat is, and China is key to that threat.
But they're also the second largest economy in the world. We want to do more trade with China. We need as many trade partners as we can get after Brexit. It's not that easy, is it?
Well, nothing's ever that easy, but just, the idea that somehow you have to kowtow to China, otherwise you don't get business there, is an absurdity. Many countries are very tough on China, and America, they keep coming back to, is very clear, and they are very clear about the threat they pose. There are business relationships going on. I personally am very concerned that we are far too already dependent on China in so many ways, and it's time for us to move that dependency away from China and start looking at other areas to invest in. So there are reasons why
Be dependent elsewhere.
But the truth is, if we don't call China out as a threat, then China just looks at us as a weak nation and doesn't even bother with us. And the important thing is, you can know your enemy, but at the same time, you can engage them. But it's no good for us to go in on bended knee, because that doesn't work at all. And that's why I believe that China needs to be called out as a threat to the way we live our lives and what we do. And I think America does it. I think we should follow suit.
Ian Smith, thanks very much.